Hey, so Bula, Malo, Talofa, Halo, Mari, and Namaste. So warm welcome to you all to the Blue Economy Accelerator in the Pacific Islands Program's information session. My name is Roshika Gander and I'm the Associate for the Pacific Green Independence Network Program. This is the second information session we're having on this. So we will be focusing more on going through the application form and providing you tips on this. And during this session, I will be taking you through the housekeeping and giving you an overview of GDGI. And my colleague Esther is going to take you through what is Blue Economy and an overview on the Blue Economy Climate Accelerator program, while my colleague Joshua would be explaining to you on how to fill the application form. And at the end of the session, towards the end, we would be allowing you to ask us some questions, and we'll be happy to give you the opportunity to go through some of the questions and get some answers. So moving on. Next slide, please, Josh. Okay, thank you. So in terms of housekeeping, the session is going to run for 1 hour. Please mute your microphones when you're not talking. And if you have a question, please type it in the chat or you can raise your hand. And we're actually recording this session and we would be uploading it onto our webpage. And it's also being live streamed on GDGI Pacific Facebook page. So you would be able to view that on that later on. In case if you face some technical issues, you can send me an email on rushika.gander@gdgi.org, or you can even send me a Zoom chat at the same time. So moving on, just very briefly looking at what GGGI does. So for those of you who may not have heard about us, the Global Green Growth Institute, commonly known as GGGI, is an international treaty-based organization which is based in Seoul. And we work to achieve a low carbon resilient world through green economic growth, which is inclusive and sustainable. And we have 44 member countries across the world. And this includes 5 in the Pacific region, and we have staff based in Fiji, Kiribati, PNG, Tonga, and Vanuatu. And I'm happy to share we would be having the 45th member just in a few days, which is on December 16th. So now I'd like to hand it over to my colleague Esther, who is going to take you through what is Blue Economy and give you an overview on the program. Over to you, Esther.
Thank you, Rishika, and it's lovely to have you all joining us today. So I'm just going to cover these slides very briefly. As Rishika mentioned, we've covered them in more detail on the previous info session, and we can also share the recording link to you if you would like to find more information. So firstly, you're all here. I'm sure you all know the importance of the ocean, particularly to the Pacific region. Almost 98% of the Pacific region is ocean. And so the ocean and its resources are so central to the lives and the future prosperity of the Pacific Islands. As I'm sure you're aware, there are thousands of coastal communities across the region who rely on the ocean for their livelihoods and food security. And this is why GGI, Climate Kick, and Irish Aid are excited to be partnering to run this program, which is targeting ocean champions from the Pacific region, whose innovative business models will support the sustainability of the ocean and livelihoods through this Blue Economy Climate Accelerator. So before we go any further, what is the Blue Economy? Basically, any economic activity that is related to the ocean and the sustainability of the ocean's resources. So what does that mean? So here are some examples on the screen. Fisheries, aquaculture, and blue bioeconomy. It could be things like fish or pearl farming and that kind of thing. Seaweed, coastal and maritime tourism, desalination of water for consumption, renewable energy that's related to marine, so offshore wind farms or wave energy, that kind of thing. Maritime transport and infrastructure, so it could be a new or innovative ways of integrating cultural cultural ways of transport with sails and canoes and that kind of thing. I'm just giving some examples. This is not saying it has to be this. Waste disposal and management, that's related to keeping waste out of the ocean. Coastal resilience and protection, which could be things like mangroves, or it could be seawalls and that kind of thing. Or it could be other climate positive activities in the blue bioeconomy. So it's quite broad, but basically anything to do with the ocean. Great, so next slide, please. Just a bit of a quick overview again on what is this Blue Economy ClimAccelerator that we're running. So it's a free virtual program, and it will have boot camp training and learning sessions, which will be run virtually. There will also be a mentoring component to the program, knowledge sharing between participants as well, and market and investor linkages, which are designed to support the participants in the program to build viable business plans that are going to support building up businesses and employing more people in the blue economy. And of course, the last item there that you see on the slide is grant funding. So we're very pleased to be able to provide funding of between 5,000 and 10,000 euros for the successful participants in the program, who will be able to submit their business plans and funding proposals during the program. So we'll be supporting people to develop those, and we can fund certain activities to help build and grow the business models that you've developed. Great, so and the next slide is on the eligibility criteria. So as you can see on the screen, of course there are some things about who can and who cannot apply, but it's quite broad. So we need you to be the lead applicant, so you can apply as a team, but the lead applicant in the team needs to be a resident of one of these 13 countries that you see on the screen. So that's quite a few of the countries in our region, in the Pacific. And yeah, we're glad to be able to support people from this region to apply. The enterprise doesn't necessarily have to be a for-profit business. It can be a for-profit business. It could also be a civil society organization, an NGO, non-governmental organization, a cooperative or a trust, or potentially other legal entity types, but it needs to be registered as that type of whichever type of legal entity it is in one of the countries listed above, of those 13 countries. Then it needs to be working in the blue economy space. So we've just covered that in the earlier slide. So basically the main operations need to be related to one of the areas that you can see here. And finally, the lead applicant, remember, it doesn't have to be everybody in the team, but the lead applicant needs to be at least 18 years old. Okay, so that's just a brief rundown on the program overview and who we're trying to work with and what we're trying to achieve. And then now I'd like to hand over to my awesome colleague Joshua Matewai to cover what the application form looks like and more details about how to apply. Over to you, Josh.
Thank you, Esther. Thank you, Ruchika, for that introduction and for briefly going over the program itself. So my task today is to go over the overview of the application forms, as well as go a bit deeper into the online application form itself as well. So just an overview. The application form is made up of 10 sections, and let's go over the various respective sections today. So first of all, it starts off with the information. Okay, the information section, which is basically gives key instructions of what you need to keep in mind and the documents that you need to prepare beforehand before you start actually filling out the online application forms. In this section, information section at the end, it's very important. There's a checkbox there which you have to tick that gives that confirms that you've understood and have read and have agreed to the application guidelines. You cannot proceed to the next section if you have not ticked that checkbox. So that's about the instructions of information. The next section is on the part A, which is basically general information. It covers about the lead applicant. It also covers about the contact details and generally about the business and the sector, the type of industry which the enterprise is engaged in or is part of. In part B has to do with the market and information. Well, this section tries to gauge how well you know the problem in the market that you are trying to solve, and also how well you understand your market or your target customers. So that's what part B tries to cover. In part C, apologies for that. In part C, it talks about solutions. So you've covered the problem. You know what problem your customers are facing. Part C is what type of solution are you offering? Okay, that's one part of that. And the next part of that solution is what makes your product or the service that you offer as part of the solution, what makes it unique or different from what is already out there in the market, or what other alternatives already available. Okay, or the word that unique value proposition, unique selling proposition comes into play about your business in this section. Also, you need to keep in mind, there's also a question there that talks about this term technology readiness level, or the short form of it is TRL. Okay, we'll go into it once we go through the online application form. For this to remember is that it's a method or a way for you which is used to understand how ready is your solution or the product or the service that you offer for the market. So it gives at which stage you are in terms of your product or the service that you offer. Is it still in ideation stage? You're still researching, testing, or is it actually ready for launching into the market? Okay, it comes all under part C, solutions. Part D has to do with your business model. Okay, basically, how do you make money? Okay, or how do you operate the systems in which your enterprise operates in terms of buying, selling, or providing the service that you offer? Okay, so those are the first 5 sections of the application form. Moving on, very important is we also want to know the impact of your business in trying to mitigate the problems that is caused or is associated with climate change. Okay, what climate problem are you solving, and what solution are you offering through the business or through the enterprise that you operate in your respective countries? Part F has to do with your participation in the program. We would also like to know your expectations. Okay, after reading through briefly about the program and what it has to offer, we also want to hear from you or know what are your expectations. What would you like to get out of the program apart from funding, of course? Okay, that is covered in part F. And that is very important as well for us to know before we actually kickstart the program. What are your expectations? Part G has to do with your team. You would like to know your team makeup, because as they say, teamwork makes the dream work. Okay, so we would like to know more about the HR aspects of your business. Okay, also looking at if you've got other partners or other founders are also part of the business, and what skills or what expertise do they offer as well in the running operation of a business. Also, as part of this team is very important is you would like to also get to know the employment or the employment that your business or your enterprise or your organization provide. Okay, and as we go into the forms, it is the ones which are employment in terms of full-time employment. Okay, where they're employed 40 hours a week, or part-time employment, and then aggregated by gender. Okay, we are very interested as well to know about female, women employment as well as part of your enterprise, your business, or your organization. Part H has to do with your company structure. Okay, how is it registered, the type of legal registrations, and also knowing your financials as well. What have been your sales revenue for the last 12 months, last 24 months, and looking forward, what do you see with the sales revenue growth for your business? So that's all covered under company structure. And then lastly is the last section of the application form is conclusion. Okay, just basically getting a bit of information where you heard about this application form, and also the section where it talks about you agreeing to the rules on protection of personal data as well, that is covered under Global Green Growth Institute policies and procedures. So those are basically the 10 sections that is covered under the application forms. There's approximately about 74 questions in total, but then there are questions which is just a drop-down button, a question which is just a yes or no, and then maybe questions which doesn't apply to your business. Okay, so in total there's 74 questions, but it may be lesser than that depending on the type of enterprise, the type of business that you operate. Okay. So moving on, application tips. These are some of the things that you need to be mindful of. Okay, it is the lead applicant that must complete the form. As soon as you log into the click on the online application link, you'll have to put in your email address, and that email address has to be the lead applicant that is completing the form. Okay, please review the application guidelines beforehand. Okay, also on the link, there are application guidelines that are provided. Please have a read through that as well. And with that, you prepare your answers before you actually start filling out the online application form. Prepare the documentation that is required as well beforehand. There's also a link there's also a link to the offline application form that you can have a read through, that you can use to prepare your answers before you actually do it on the online version of it. Please be concise, okay, but very specific with your answers. Okay, that will really help us as facilitators, as the team that will be vetting application form, make it easier for us to understand about your business. Note the maximum number of characters. There are a few questions which will have a number of characters limit to it. So please do be mindful of that as well when you're preparing your answers and filling out the online application. Keep in mind, we don't expect you to have all the answers, okay? We don't expect you to have all the answers. So be yourself, okay, while you're filling out the answers. Okay, there may be some questions which you're not sure, okay, which you're not sure at which stage you're in or what is the actual question. Just try and be yourself, be as clear as possible as well when you're giving your answers. Okay, take advantage of the optional sections, okay, and also if you have submitted your application form before the deadline, which is 16th December, 2022, if you have submitted it beforehand, you can still edit it as long as it's before you're editing before the 16th of December. So those are just some application form tips for you as well as you prepare to fill out the application form. Secondly is very important. What are the documents that I need to prepare? What are the documents that you as an enterprise, as a business need to prepare? First of all is the lead applicant proof of residency. So that can be the passport biodata, in Fiji, the voter registration or the national ID card, your driver's license, your permit, your visa, your tenancy agreement, or bills to confirm your residency in the country that you've registered your business. Secondly is the legal registration documentation or incorporation document for your enterprise or for your organization. Okay, it can be a business registration or the registration as a charitable trust, cooperative, as a non-profit or CSO. Thirdly is the CVs, the curriculum vitae or for your resume for you as a lead applicant as well as your co-founders as well. Okay, these are the three main documents that you need to prepare beforehand and that will be required. Now, optional as well is if you already have a business pitch deck, okay, maybe it's made up of your PowerPoint slides, okay, or a video of you pitching about your business, okay. If you already have it, please There's also a question in the online application form where you're able to upload it as well onto it. And also, if you have online demos about your business, about your product, you might have taken a few videos that you put it up on Facebook, okay, or you've got pamphlets that gives instructions, information about your business, about your product, services that you offer, or photos about photos of what you're offering. Please also prepare for it. There's also a question in the application form that you're able to fill in and upload this onto it. So those are the key things that you need to prepare for before actually filling out the application form. So moving forward, a second. Okay, now let us go through the application form itself. Okay, so you can access it on the Pacific Greenpreneurs website. Okay, and Rushika or Esther put it on the chat box for us, where you can access the online application form. So what we'll do now, we'll go through the respective questions. I'll fill out a dummy business trying to apply, okay, hypothetically, as we go through the questions. So just give me a minute while I stop share, and I'll share share the online application form. Okay, gotcha. Just give me a second. Just let me share my screen. Right, I hope you guys are able to see my screen. Yep. Okay. So this is the Pacific Greenpreneurs online website, and basically click onto this apply now for Blue Economy ClimAccelerator, and it should take you to this online application form. Okay, I hope it's coming out clearly. Give me a thumbs up if it is. Okay, so to start off with, it starts off with basic details, the name of your enterprise, okay, the name of the lead applicant who's applying. Okay, hypothetically, I'm putting Wananavu as the name of the enterprise that I'm applying. Chosua, my email address, my contact, my country of residency, and your attached proof of residency. There's a link there where you need to upload your proof of residency. Okay, I've already done a of it. Okay, so there you go. Describe your enterprise in just one sentence. So briefly, what is your enterprise about? Just a simple sentence. Here is the part where if you have already some videos about your business, about the product that you offer, you are also able to upload it here. Okay, so basically add file. Okay, then it takes you to go to which drive that you would like to upload it from. This is for example that I'm doing. Where should I go? Yeah, for example, this. So it goes on here. So it gives you an online demo or pamphlet of your business or what you do. If you have a website, okay, you can put it also in here, the link to a website or the link to that online video demo, or maybe it's on a YouTube link. Okay, you can load it onto your YouTube and then give us the link here as well. Which sector within the clean tech industry is mostly aligned with your startup or the business or the organization that you operate or you manage? Okay, this is quite a few options that are here. Okay, please don't be confused. You pick the ones that is closely related to your business or to your enterprise. whether it's in food and agriculture, whether it's in air and environment, okay, whether it's in clean energy, clean industry, if it's into efficiency, okay, and then in efficiency, there's the options there, whether it's green building, semiconductors, smart grid, or others, whether you're in energy storage around renewable energy, storing it, if you're transportation or you're in the sector of providing water efficiency, production, transmission. Okay, so there are options here. You pick the one that is closely related to your business. Okay, pick at least one that is closely related to your business. So in this case, I'm picking, for example, clean energy, biomass. Okay. Number 9 is, what is your interest in this specific industry? What made you very interested in this industry? Maximum of 500 characters on that question. So for every question that has maximum 500 characters, that means there's a limit to the words that you can type as part of your response. Also note the red asterisk, okay, the red star that is after every question. That means it's mandatory. You have to fill that question. If there's no red asterisk like part 7b here, that means it's not compulsory. But if you have it on at the end of a question, that means it's compulsory. You cannot proceed to the next section if you do not fill out that question. Okay. Part B is your market and competition. Basically, you should know the problem that you're trying to solve. Okay. You should also know what is your target market. Okay, who are you targeting, your customer segments? Try to be very specific, okay, on what is your target market that you're trying to target. Number 12 is, how large is your target market? If you're able to have stats, data that backs it up, please do so. If you're not sure of it, if you want to put it in percentage terms, maybe 50% of the population, 20% of the population, 10% of the population, okay, please note down how large is that as well. Number 13 is, how do you know someone needs what you're making or offering? You should have done a bit of analysis, market assessment, okay, even if you've talked to your neighbors or you've talked to your friends or you've talked to people in the villages, in the rural areas, okay, so basically put how do you know that they need that, and give examples, at least one to respond to that question. Number 14, who are your competitors? Or if you are not sure, or if you're not sure who are your competitors, please put down who might be your competitors. Okay, who is your biggest threat for your organization, enterprise, or the business that you run? Number 15, what is the biggest market risk and what might go wrong? Okay, so that. All of this has to do with your market and the competition. How well you know market, how well you know your competitors or your potential competition for your organization or enterprise. Part C is, what is your solution? Okay, first and foremost, as you know, this has the asterisk. This has options, drop-down options. It's asking, what is your solution? Is it a product, a service, or whether it is both? Okay, and then you click on one. In this case, hypothetically, I'm putting both product and service. And number 17 is, are you offering that product or service virtually or digitally, or is it a physical product or service? Okay, and there's a drop-down button to it. Unique value proposition, very important. What makes you different from what is already out there, or what makes you very unique? The solution that you're offering through the product and service. What is it? That statement. Okay, for your enterprise, for your organization. Okay, what kind of product service are you offering? This is the actual product services itself. Okay, you're saying it's a physical product from the initial, from the earlier question. What is it? 20 is, what makes your solution unique and hard to duplicate? It's sort of somehow related to 18. Okay, 18 is a pretty statement about what makes your business unique. Okay, and it comes to number 20 is a bit more specific. What makes your solution unique? Okay, maybe focus on the product itself, focus on the customers, how that solution is very unique in solving their problem. Number 21 is about, we would like to know about you as the lead applicant, and if you're the founder, okay, what is your dream and your vision as well. Number 22 is is what I talked about, the technology readiness level. It is a method in which you are able to gauge at which level is my product, readiness of my product for the market. Okay, is it at the beginning stage, it's still at ideas, or is it at the end stage where it's already tested and it's now ready for launch? So there are 9 levels altogether, and there's brief explanations about those 9 levels. Now, pick the level which is suitable for you, for your business and the product that you offer. Which one is more relevant or more closely related? If you're not sure, okay, just put one which is closely related. It is during the, and if you're selected, it is during the sessions, then you'll be able to become more clear at which level is your the readiness of your product for the market. Okay, so that's number 22. Next is part B is around the business model. Now this focus on the business as a whole. Okay, who do you sell to? Okay, basically whether it's B2B, B2C, or it's B2 government, or through any peer-to-peer. But if you're not sure, then you can click on not sure. Okay, I believe for this one, you can click more than one tick box, checkbox. Okay, so you can click if you're doing business to business as well as business to end customer. Number 24, explain your business model. How do you or will you make money? Okay, how do you operate your business or the organization that you run? Excuse me, just give me a second. Number 25 is how far are you with your business? Is it still at ideation stage? Is it just got registered? Is it a startup? Is it a micro, small, or is it now looking for investors? Okay, talking about your products, whether it's already launched in the market and we are at a growth stage. Okay, so how far along are you with your business? Number 26, this is another aspect of you assessing your business. One is the one that I explained earlier, is the TRL, technology readiness level. How ready is your product or service for the market? Now, in this question is the business readiness level. This has to do with your business model. Okay, how ready is your business model? Is it ready for the market to actually operate and fully operate? Okay, and in this case, there are links that are provided there if you're not sure about your business at which level. Okay, but even after you go through the links, you're still not sure, then this has options. You go through the options and see which one is closely related to your business. From BRL1, which is first level, is still at hypothetical stage. You're still having business concept. It's still there in the head. Okay, you still have it there in your mind. Okay, and then BRL2 is where you are able to describe, okay, this is, you're able to ascertain, okay, this is my market, these are my competitors, okay, maybe this can actually work well. And then BRL3, which goes into, okay, you are able to draft a business model where you get a business plan, you're putting your mind into paper, and then it goes on. Okay, BRL4. So these are levels. You pick the ones that is closely related to your business and at which levels are they in. If you're not sure, pick one. And then during the sessions, during the virtual sessions, we'll be able to suss it out. And at the end, you'll be able to know, okay, at which level is my business model at and readiness level for the market. But part E is your climate impact. Okay, looking at the impact your business is having towards reducing the problems that are associated with climate change. Okay, climate change as well. So this section talks about that, or the solutions, that the problem that is that you're trying to solve with the product services that you offer through your enterprise or through your business. Part F is participation in the program. Okay, participation in the program. So what kind of support have you received so far to start up your enterprise and operate? Okay, support can be financial support, grant support, or advisory support, or you've been part of a coaching, you've been coached, part of a coaching network, business coaching network as well. Number 32 is what would you like to achieve at the end of, if you're selected and at the end of the program, apart from funding, what are some of the other things that you like to achieve as being part of this program, and we would like to know like how can the program, the Blue Climate Accelerator, in this case it's called EIT Climate Kick, support you moving forward as well. Okay, so once again, be mindful of the maximum, the number of characters that you can type into your responses. Those are in brackets, as well as the asterisks that are in red. Those are compulsory, mandatory sections that you have to fill out. Number 6, your team. We would like to know your team. Teamwork makes the dream work. Basically, you're the founder, the lead applicant, uploading of the CVs that are in this section. Okay, add file here, and then you're able to load onto your CVs of the respective teammates. Okay, if you got another co-founder, number 2, as well as co-founder number 3 as well. Okay, that's 39. Also be mindful if they have got a LinkedIn profile. Okay, you can also, of your co-founders, you can also include them as part of the responses as well. Okay, now looking at gender equality as well, aspect of this program is that option that is there as part of number 41, and I believe it's also part of the other co-founders as well, uploading of the CVs. 43 is the relevant expertise and skills. Maybe just list down founder 1, or he's good at management. Founder 2 is very technical. He knows a lot about water desalinization. Founder 3 is a good salesperson. Okay, so basically listing down what are the expertise and expertise in terms of a business and what they offer. Number 44 is how long have you guys known each other as co-founders. Number 46 is as co-founders or as shareholders. Okay, what are your shares or equity in the business? Now 46 onward is talking about your employees. Now full-time employees and part-time employees if you're employing people. If not, then you can put a 0 or you can put an A as non-applicable if you're a sole trader and you're one-man army for your business at the moment. Full-time employees, if they are working 40 hours per week, it's 40 hours per week. Part-time employees, if they're working less than that, maybe they were just working 1 or 2 days a week. It's also asking about, in terms of full-time employees, part-time employees, how many of them are women, and ending off if there are other shareholders, especially in a cooperative. Okay, cooperative as well. I know there's a large numbers of members that will also have shares in the cooperative. So please, if that's the case, then just list down the women of, how many women altogether. If it's a women cooperative of 20 women of the village, is it Waivaka village or is it village in Deumba? Okay, just in terms of this section. But if you have 3, 4, 5, please do list them down as well for this question. And also if you've had other team members, or they are part of the business, or they're not part of the business, but every now and then you get to meet up with them, have a chat and have those networking coaching sessions, please also list them down as well as part of this application form. See, so when I didn't fill out one of the questions, which is this upload CV co-founder, I couldn't move on to the next part of the next section. So I'll have to fill this out first because it's mandatory before I actually move onwards from here. Just give me a second. That's next. Okay. Part H is about company structure and financials. Your registration, you have to get it ready. That's part of, I believe that's part of question number 52, uploading the legal registration certificate, whether you're for profit businesses, so NGOs, cooperative, or trust. Okay, what is registered as? There's a drop-down option. Please choose the one which is relevant to your business and you're regularly registered under. In which country registered under, in which country you're most active in. Okay, if you're active in a lot of countries, see which ones that has more sales, that you do more sales in, which country is that. Number 56, what IP, intellectual property, have you secured? Are you planning to secure? Okay, if you have IP over some of the products or the services that you offer, please note it down there. If not, then NA or nothing at the moment. Okay, 57 is about relevant information about the structure formation of the startup. Okay, sole trader, once again, partnership, how many partners, sole trader is a one-man army, how much going out to financials, how much revenue that you have gotten for the past 12 months. Okay, please enter it into euros. We've got the link for the foreign exchange link that is there, www.xe.com. So if you're 50,000, you're doing 25,000 FZD a year for the last 12 months, then basically punch into that, click on this link, and then you'll be able to fill in your FZD currency in 25,000, and it should automatically convert it to euros as well. That's for the past 12 months, then goes on to the past 24 months. Okay, what is your total revenue? Okay, apologies, if this is 50,000, then the past 24 months would have, if you would have done, should have been more than 50,000, because that includes your year one as well, which should be around 70,000, hypothetically, for example. Okay, now that's the past. Now looking towards the future, what is your sales growth plans like? Okay, moving towards 2023 into 2024. Similarly, please, it should be in euros. Is your business profitable now? Yes or no? Are you looking for investors, financiers to invest in your business? Yes or no? If yes, what type of investment are you looking at? Grant financing? Are you looking at equity financing? Or are you looking at debt financing? Okay. And the last question here is, if you already have a business pitch, you might have pitched to a business, to an investor or to another program, and you already have a business page, your PowerPoint slides, please do load it into this option as question number 64. And then that's the concluding part, is actually, how did you hear about Blue Climate Accelerator? Have you participated in this program before? This is the first in the Pacific, the EIT Climate Kick program. In a spare time, you can go into their website. They offer other programs in other parts of the world, but it is the first time in the Pacific. And we're glad that they're implementing it through the Pacific Green Entrepreneurs Network here in the Pacific. And lastly, number 68 is reviewing and giving your consent to the privacy policy, as well as the rules of protection of personal data under the Global Green Growth Institute. Okay, you cannot submit if you do not tick yes as part of this. And then you've got links there that you could read on regarding those privacy policy and those rules on protection of personal data. So at the end, yes, and then you've got submit button here at the bottom. As soon as you submit it, you should be receiving a confirmation of your application form submitted to the email that you had provided at the first stance for your lead applicant. You should be receiving that. And if you have submitted before deadline on the 16th, but then you said, oh no, I need to make changes, you can go back to your application, go back to the email that was sent after you submitted, and you should be able to access your responses as well as the application from there as well. So that's just a bit about the application forms. As you can see, there's a total about 68 questions, but in total with a few drop-down options, it should come to around 74, but some of it might not apply to you, some of you might apply to you. Okay, so fill it to the best of what you know about your business and what is relevant to your business for this. So that's briefly about the application form. Okay, I hope that's clear enough, and thank you, Roshika, for putting in those links as well to those application forms. So moving onwards, I hope you guys are able to see the slides. Yes? Yeah, okay. Just a second. Yes. Yeah, and so how do I apply? Yes, how do I apply? So please, by the 16th of December, I believe there is the 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, I believe that's by Friday. Okay. The application form is the due date for submission. Okay, there's also a link there regarding the program details, regarding some of the guidelines that you need to be aware of, some of the things that we've covered during these sessions, as well as a few FAQs, frequently asked questions, as part of that, frequently asked questions as part of the guidelines that are there that will create more, give you more clarity. Okay. Once again, try and be concise with what your responses, be specific. That will be easier for us to understand your business, and also hopefully to get you on board as one of the successful candidates being part of this program. So that's just briefly about from me. Yeah, I'll give this time now to, I believe, Roshika. Yeah. And if you have any questions as well, thank you.
Thank you. So thank you so much, Josh, for taking us through this application form very thoroughly. So we have a question here from Netani. Sorry if I pronounce your name not correctly. So is there a possibility to include a video as part of the pitch, and one application per profit organization or company? So I believe you would be able to include a video, or you can probably basically just provide us the link to the video. And yes, it would basically, we would be able to accept more than one application if the business idea is different. So you would be able to put in 2 applications, but when selected, we would only be able to select one business idea per organization or company. And although you would be able to send in applications for several different business ideas. Josh, would you like to add something onto that?
Yeah, I agree with you, Roshika, on that. Yeah, we'll assess based on which only one business idea or one business or enterprise per applicant. Yeah? Thank you, Roshika.
Okay, let us see if we have any other questions. Okay, cannot see any others. Okay, so we have another one from John. We are non-profit NGO called PNG Rural Development, working with rural agriculture farmers since January 2021. Will we be eligible? Josh, would you like to take this one?
Thank you, Roshika. How is it registered as? Is it registered as a cooperative, or is it a CSO? Oh, sorry, yeah, it's basically there. We are profit, non-profit organization, yes. So you're eligible to apply for this program. However, you have to take note of the specific sectors or industries that fall under the blue economy, and it's part of the eligible guidelines. Okay, you have to be mindful of that as well. How does it relate to the blue economy? Okay, I believe that's very important, and that's the gist of this program is, yes, you can be an NGO, you can be a CSO, but how does it link to growing sustainable blue economy for the Pacific? I think that's where the tricky part for you as for your NGO. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh, for clarifying that. So, yeah, I don't think we have any other questions. Okay, so John has shared the link to the organization, I believe, just to provide us more details on that. And other than that, I do not see any other questions. So please feel free to type in your questions, which you have. Okay, we have one more. So it's clarification on the area of interest on the brochure versus the specific interest in the application form, which is example coastal and maritime tourism, and choose aquaculture on the application form. Do we need to focus on tourism or aquaculture?
Okay. Yeah. So shall I take that, Roshika?
Yes, sure, please. Thank you, Joshua.
Okay, thank you. I believe it's Resi Eritai. So yes, there might be some industrial sectors that might overlap against each other in terms of the specific interest. I believe in this case, if I'm reading correctly, you're in the coastal and maritime tourism, but as part of your business, you offer aquaculture as part of it. For it, you can go with any of them, either coastal maritime tourism or specific aquaculture. Okay, but the way I see it, it's your business is in coastal and maritime tourism. Okay, and the aquaculture comes under that. So applying under coastal and maritime tourism, it's when you and explain it in your application form, where it explains about your business model. That's where you're able to explain more on how blue economy, which aspect of the blue economy specific interest comes under your business model. I hope that's clear enough.
Thank you, Josh. Okay, so yeah, Robert is thanking you, Josh, and thank you that it's very clear. I did receive another question, okay, which I responded on direct message. So do we have any more questions before we actually wrap up for the session? Okay, another one is Max is asking inland fish farming may also be seen as aquaculture. It's more like a question, Josh. Would you like to say something on that?
Thank you, Max. I believe Max from PNG.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So in this instant, if Esther can correct me, we are focusing on the oceans, okay, the blue economy, specifically aquaculture around the oceans, as well as the blue economy aspect. I don't think so. The inland fish farming, it's still beneficial socially, but our focus, our scope in this case is regarding the ocean economy. So aquaculture around the blue economy, that will be my response to that. All right, thank you, Esther.
Okay, and okay, I'd just like to clarify that the Pacific Greenpreneurs Accelerator program is different from the Blue Economy Climate Accelerator program, which are two different programs. So just in case if someone's confused, I just thought to clarify this. And we did receive a question from Chris. Okay, so do we have any other questions? Okay, so since we don't have any other questions, I'd like to just wrap up here. So thank you to all of you for taking out your time to join today's session. And thank you to Esther for covering the overview and providing an overview on the program. And Joshua for very thoroughly going through the application form, which I'm very sure has been really helpful for our participants on this session, and will also be beneficial to those who would be viewing the session recording. And I'd also like to thank our funding partners, EIT Climate Kick, and in particular the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade of Ireland, the Irish Aid, who have been providing the funding for this program. And we're really grateful and happy to be working with them on this program. And so before we go, we would love to take a group photo with you all. So if possible, it'll be great if we can turn on our videos so we can just take a few snips. Let's get ready to smile. Okay. Ready, everyone? Okay, I managed to get a few clicks. You all are looking lovely. All right, so we'll just wrap up here now. And if you still have some questions, please do feel free to send us an email. And we're really looking forward to getting some of your really great applications, showcasing to us your great ideas and your innovative ideas as well. So with that, I'd like to say thank you once again, and wishing you all a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And I'll just quickly check if Joshua and Esther would like to add in.
All good. Thank you, Rashika.
All right, thank you, Josh. Esther, would you like to add in? Okay, I can see Esther giving me a thumbs up. So, well, thank you once again.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Mother, Fa, Sapo.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Max.
Welcome. Josh, one talk.
Talk. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, Thomas
Thank you.
Barata.
Thank you. One bell. Good one.
Tura, thank you, thank you.
Hey, thank you, John.
Dr. Ana.